Hey, so I'm just getting things going here tonight. I just started a fire. Today is the 28th. It is Saturday after Thanksgiving 2020. I've been burning wood for a couple days now, for at least part of the day for an hour or so. Last night for 3 hours, for example. Maybe only like 2.5. I burned up a pallet, which actually equated to about 3 degrees. If this circulates a little bit, we'll see what this turns into here by the end of the night. But my goal is to get another couple of degrees of temperature here. But I'm just going to chop up a pallet and keep this stove alive here for an hour to 3 and see what happens. And I'll check back in here once it's been some time. Hey, so here's the pallet into 2 boxes pretty much. So this feels reasonably warm right now. When the laser's pointing right on, it's like 118, 120 degrees. It hasn't been very long. We've got a half a degree already in the water added in there. So and then this here is the water temperature, and this is then the ambient temperature, which quickly gets higher than the water temperature. Stove is intense right now. You know, in between the coils is pretty hot. The coils themselves aren't so hot. Like, I can touch these. I couldn't do that up here. So this eats up wood pretty good. I'm gonna throw another piece in there. It gasifies it in there at the point of burning, and you can see here in the dark there's some glow there. I might turn this down just a smidgen. The little bits of airflow make a huge difference on this stove. So this is kind of the carburetor right here on the end of it. That's what it amounts to. And anyways, let's check some stuff out here quick. We're hovering at 59 degrees right now. Like, I just saw this switch to 59. It's at 58.8, 59. It's jumping. So that means the water in there is at least 60 degrees right now. Gone up probably a degree in the amount of time that it took me to chop apart that pallet. And if we take and do some digital reads here quick, the stove is probably going to register high, which means it's above 750. If I go like shortly up or below, you know, it's the cement underneath, I think, contributes to heating my water lines, because if I look at this down here, it's, you know, upwards of 120 degrees. By the time you get up here, it's not so bad on the foam, but down here on this foil, it gets really hot, especially off the base of this stove back here, and in that space there. So anyways, temperature is doing pretty good. I don't have this open, blasting it at super hardcore temps here. I get measurements like 130, 140 along the tube, depending where I'm pointing at. So maybe the PEX line's coming back. I don't know how much the ambient temperature of that stove is like affecting the readings on the thermometer, but 62 degrees the PEX tubes are, 57, 58 degrees out on the cement floor out there. So there's 4 degrees, you know, 4 or 5 degrees higher water temperature than floor temperature. Here goes another water temperature reading. It appears to be 61. This reads 59.3. The cement here reads 58.5. So my stove is glowing a little bit down here, but it's not too bad around the edges, a little bit. But I wanted to check in because this is the hottest I've felt this in most times of feeling it, and I want to kind of see, like, what is its end temperature down the line here. So if I look at this right here, (107 degrees, 108 degrees is what the PEX tube is at as the water is getting dumped into the tank. And we're getting to 59.7 degrees Fahrenheit is the air temperature right above the water, which is 15.3 degrees Celsius, and then ambient temperature is 18.8 degrees Celsius, which over here on the tank is 69 degrees. So you probably can't see it, but the Arduino here is reading 63 degrees. So up here in the air, this is saying 64, 65. Right on the device that reads 63. So this gets a little bit more off the more that it's in ambient heat or radiant heat from the radiator. I think if it's off in the corner of the room, it's more accurate. But the direct temperature of the stove blasting heat at things is not quite always accurate. But once everything settles, like when the stove's not running, you come and check temperature, everything, and everything seems to be pretty much a consistent temperature. I'm not sure how this stove is. I mean, if I open this guy up, it gets intense in there. So we like to leave that choked a little bit to keep that at bay. I mean, this stove will just scorch itself to death if you let it. It's a little too big for its own good. So the stove's glowing pretty orange, but some logs are about done. I mean, this is about an hour and a half worth of burn time at pretty warm temperatures. The pallet wood's not all gone yet by far. I still got the majority of these two boxes here left of wood. I have reached kind of like a point that I think is a good point. Is the 60-degree mark here. And so, I don't know, I kind of been using this as a baseline. Like if I can hit 60 degrees here, the next goal is 60-degree cement floor out there. I don't know if that'll happen tonight. If I go out here with a thermometer and walk around a little bit, 57-degree ground still. Cement hasn't changed much for temperature. 58 back here. Underneath this insulation roll, that's maybe a good spot to check. 58 underneath that hasn't been affected by air temperature much. So the tubing in the ground is definitely having an effect over here.